Hey guys, Jason the Lazy Heretic here with another weekly video for you. If you've just tuned in, we are currently going through a series of posts on the blog and here on our YouTube channel, looking at some of the things that particularly I've learned over the last 16 years in ministry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description to the series page on the blog and to the playlist, the video playlist, so you can kind of keep up with all of them. So make sure you subscribe, go check out the blog and just have a look at them. But on Monday I put up the second part of our series, the second four things out of 16 that I've learned. And so you can go and have a read and check them out, but I'll just summarize. They are, firstly, don't let anyone bully you. That's a really big one for ministers. Secondly, if you can talk the talk, then you need to be able to walk the walk. Very important as well. Daily, deep, intentional time with God is the third one. And as I said on the blog, they're in no particular order, but the fourth one is relationships are the most important thing that you can foster. And in this video today, I just want to take some time to elaborate on this idea of our time with Jesus. Okay, most Christians will try to have a quiet time, and we talked a little bit about this in our last video, but this is so vital. It's kind of foundational, and I think it's really worth coming back to and spending some time on it just to kind of reflect a bit more on what it is. And last week, the context was courage and how being with God gives us some perspective on things and helps us to overcome our fear of others when we realize how massive God is and how He accepts us and how He's God and He's in charge of everything and other people are not God. But here, let's talk more specifically about what that time might look like, a bit more practical, because it's really a foundational thing that we need to get right in order to minister well, because we need to be continually in God's presence and kind of being imbued with that life of the Spirit if we're going to give out some of that and minister from that. So, as I said before, most Christians will try to have some sort of a quiet time, and as a minister, you need to make sure that you do have a quiet time, right? It's not really optional, and it shouldn't be optional for the Christian life, but the expectation is even higher for a minister. You guys have to have some. It needs to be not just a kind of a time that you just kind of waffle around, but it also needs to be productive, which means it needs to be done at the right time of day. You don't want to do it too early in the morning. You're like, I'm going to go up at 5 o'clock, I'm going to do an hour devotional every morning, but yet you're kind of half asleep, kind of reading, oh, what did that say? And you kind of nodding off and half in and half out, or you don't want to be rushing to another meeting, so you schedule it, I'm going to do it in the middle of the day, and I'm going to spend an hour in the middle of the day, oh, but I've got all these meetings that keep popping up. You don't want to do it at night, too late at night. If you're one of those people who's not really a night person and you're kind of falling half asleep and you don't get quite through your prayers and you kind of like, God bless, and you fall asleep halfway through. But you've got to figure out what kind of person you are. So this is why my quiet time will be in a different time to yours, and yours will be in a different time to another minister's, because we're all different and we all have different rhythms. So you need to figure out, when is it that you're most awake during the day? When is it you're the most productive? When is it that you can focus the most? And then you build it into your schedule, this quiet time. It's got to be a priority, and you have to plan it out. Right? You have to be intentional about it. That's the big kind of key to take away, because you need to be hearing from God. You need to be able to hear and listen to what He's saying to you, because you're someone who's responsible for others. You are a leader and people depend on you for the direction and the work that needs to be done. You need to make sure that you are hearing from God correctly. So get alone with God. Go to a place where you're not going to be disturbed. Go to a place where you can turn off all the notifications on your phone, or even turn off your phone, put it on airplane mode or do not disturb or something like that, and take out like a paper Bible, one of those physical ones. Take it out and read through it that way. Take a physical notebook so that you can like take notes and write stuff down. Be quiet in God's presence. Just sit. Invite the Holy Spirit to be there with you, and just recognize His presence and recognize that He will speak to you. He wants to speak to you. And so just be quiet and then just quickly open with a prayer, just inviting Him there to speak, and then read the latest verse of your reading plan, right? And make sure you do have a reading plan. Don't just kind of randomly flick through, boom, there's my verse for today. I'm going to think on that. Read through a book of the Bible. If you don't have a reading plan that you can kind of subscribe to or that you can print out or whatever, make sure you're reading through like a book of the Bible like John's Gospel or the Psalms or Proverbs or maybe one of the minor prophets like Amos or Obadiah or Zephaniah or one of those, and just read through, reflect on it, take notes in your journal or your notebook, and just listen. Listen to what God has to say. And it's important that we get this time and we get it right and we do it properly, because it's what drives our ministries forward into the future. Okay, it's like the fuel that our ministries run on. It's an investment. Be encouraged to take time to do that this week, because you are investing. You might think, oh, I'm just so busy that I don't have time. Martin Luther said that he was too busy not to take time to pray and to spend time in God's presence. Because when you're there, you're going to be surprised. You bring him the problems, you bring him your frustrations, you bring him the people that are really annoying you, and you'll be surprised at the amazing creative solutions that God offers to you and to those problems and those different situations. So guys, be encouraged this week to spend that time, make it intentional, put it in your plan, and do it every day from this day forward, okay? Don't forget to drop us a like, to leave a comment, to share us around, to subscribe, check out the blog, find us on social media. All the links are going to be in the description. Be blessed, and we'll see you next week with another video devotional, all right? Take care, guys, and we'll see you then.